Hello and welcome back to the second video on writing the perfect CV. In the previous video we left off looking at the F structure that you can find in texts if you want to scan for information rapidly. We've established that information should go to the left hand side to the column for Western alphabets, and that the first lines of paragraphs are very important for mentioning key information. Now when we try to apply that to our CVs, what does that mean? That builds up to the following point, that reverse chronology often works best. So what we have to do is we normally start at the top with the most recent degree or experience that you have, because that is most relevant in most cases. Let's take an example. It's not very interesting for an employer to know what you studied in secondary education. For instance, you did Latin, and that your final degree that you took is, for instance, bioengineering. If you're going to apply for a position in bioengineering, having that Latin at the top and bioengineering at the bottom is not going to help the scan, because we know that the main information should be top left. So we're going to reverse the chronology. We're going to start with the latest or most recent or most relevant degree, and then work our way down so that the least relevant is more to the bottom. That also ties into the question whether we should start first by outlining our experience, so the jobs we've held so far, or whether we should focus on our degrees. Well, here in general, the idea is that the thing that best matches your profile, that best matches the job ad, should come top. If your previous job was, for instance, a management job, and we're looking here for a manager, then perhaps that is the most suited option to start with, and you mention later on that you have a degree in economics. If, on the other hand, people are specifically looking for somebody with a degree in economics, but to do some kind of administrative task, then perhaps it's best to get your degree up as somebody with a degree in economics, and mention only later on that you did not really used to do administration, but that you were really more into sales, and you keep that for the lower point of view. So also visually, where you position the information on your CV is going to be of importance, and we're going to remember that F structure when deciding where to put what. Having said that, there is an additional kind of section that is gaining in popularity for mentioning on CVs, and that is a motivation or a profile or ambition section at the start of your CV. What is this about? It's about one sentence or 2 or 3 keywords, perhaps 2 or 3 bullets in a bulleted list, that are going to have the core essence of what you put in your motivational cover letter. They are those killer points that you're so willing to convey to the recruiter. Why? Well, because we know that cover letters are not read. They're not going to get you on the yes pile, but your CV is going to help you do that. You just want to slip a little bit of cover letter information into your CV to get people's attention and to say, ah yes, these are the features, the characteristics of a person that we need for this job. So it's a bit of trying to trick the recruiter. It's new, but seemingly it works. Of course, here too we have the same kind of logic. If that is what you really want to emphasize, best to put it top, aligned to the left. The sixth tip then that we're going to look at is adding pictures. Of course, this is a bit proper to all cultures. Take a country like Germany, for instance. There it's very common to add a picture. But generally speaking, for Belgium or for the UK, most people do not add pictures. Of course, as you can read, unless it's really something that is an inherent feature of the job needed, as with the George Clooney lookalike. These are our next couple of tips. In our next video, we're going to come back to some more tips, and we're going to look at some actual CVs to try and find out what works and what works less.